All right, welcome everybody. The show doesn't really have a name. Normally, it's the Taproom Sports Podcast (APR), but it's just myself, Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Lads here with Jordan, Mister All 22 Robinson from the Cover Zero podcast. We are recording this from the night before the Super Bowl. We were trying to go live. If y'all seen it on Facebook, sorry, couldn't really figure it out. So we're just gonna record this and then post it. But excited to have my guy on. Night before the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year. Jordan, how you doing tonight? First of all, before we get into the game.
I'm doing well. Had a date night with the wife. He went to this place out here, the Valley Public House. Big shout out to
How's
them
that?
out here. Oh, bro, that place. I mean, it's a place. They have
It's a place. You said
60.
it's a place.
It is the place to be if you happen to
Nice.
be into craft beer, happen to be into some Mexican food, happen to be into Detroit style pizza,
Ooh, I love
wine.
Detroit style pizza, bro. Oh my god.
I didn't partake in any Detroit. That's the first time I've been there and didn't have any pizza. Dug into I had four shrimp tacos and instead,
That's a
which
pretty
was two
unique
shrimp tacos.
combination there. Mexican food and Detroit style pizza.
You go to one spot, so it has like there's ranch pizza who does Detroit style pizza, then there's tamale boy who does all your Mexican
Uh,
food preferences that you want there, and
okay,
then
okay.
there's like five different rooms, three different levels. And like the bottom level is your whiskey bar, your full on liquor bar. That's all you're going to get down there. The middle level, one side of it, you have about 20 different taps that are all just wine barrels. And then the other side of it, you got about 65 taps that are all different kinds of beer.
Interesting, man. That is very interesting, dude. That sounds awesome. That
Yeah.
sounds fucking awesome. Portland, dude. You gotta love it, man. Gotta
This
love
this
it.
place ain't even in Portland. This place is like a good 25-30 minutes outside of Portland. So like, but
Oh
it's
wow.
where I'm at. It's just 15 minutes from my house. So
Nice, dude. You're like right where you need to be. I like it, dude. I like
hmm
it. What are you sipping on right now?
so tonight from the public house, they also do this. They also, for people who can't see the video that we're recording, I'm holding up just a silver can with Sharpie writing on it. And they will do individual crowlers, which are 32-ounce cans, as you know, the beer nation knows. And they'll do single pint canning right on site if you like what you
Wow.
had. So I got a single pint canning of here of this Ruse. It's a Portland brewer. The Spirit, what is this? The Spirit Receiver Hazy IPA coming in at about 7%, mostly strata hops in this guy. That's what I'm
Fuck
sipping on
yeah.
tonight. And then I got another one out from your original, well, close to your original stomping grounds from them, the Field Work.
Okay.
Got some Field Work Northern Delights. They're based out of Berkeley, kind of, in that
Yeah.
Bay-ish area, I would say.
There's a lot of breweries out in the Bay Area, dude. Like there's too many to be named. So I'm sipping on a beer that I actually did on Taproom Sports Podcast this last week. But this was a good enough beer that I'm drinking it again. And when it comes to 16-ounce beers, I mean, Jordan, as a beer drinker, these things they can get pricey, 8, 10, 12 bucks a pop. So if you try one and you like it and you're willing to go back and buy more, that usually means it's a good beer. So I too am drinking a hazy IPA. This is from Black Plague Brewing Company. They're out of San Diego, California, and this one's actually in collaboration with Nigel Houston, the professional
Oh,
skateboarder. So this
mm,
is his like take on a hazy IPA, very citrusy, which pretty much all the San Diego brewing companies. If you've ever had any San Diego, whether if it's WeldWorks, Black Plague, um, just
Modern
any
Times
of them. Modern
originated in San
Times.
Diego.
Yep,
Yeah.
Modern Times. And Modern Times, the original owner actually started a new brewery too, where he like specializes in only barrel aged IPA or barrel aged beers. Like that's all he does is barrel aged beers. And for this one,
Okay.
I forget the name of the company. I'll find it. I'll send it to you because their beers, whoo, on point. But this Black Plague is very good for a hazy IPA. It has everything you want from a hazy IPA. I mean, the color is beautiful. It's
What's that
hazy.
color? Hold up to the screen. What you got? What you looking at? The color
It's
wise.
like goldish brown. Yep.
Look how bright. See the brightness.
Well, I don't have
You
a good light. I don't have a good light, but
know?
yeah. This
The
it's
brightness.
very citrusy, obviously Simcoe, Citra hops.
Okay,
And
nice.
they
Two of which I like.
I think they brew this one with like tangerines or nectarines or something. Like it's definitely something citrusy in there.
Oh, they add a fruit to it. They brew it with
Yeah,
fruit.
it doesn't say in here, but I mean like just the aroma from it, like you could definitely smell like tropical flavors. Like there if there isn't a natural fruit in here, like they did a very good job because it doesn't tell you everything in here. Honestly, I'm just guessing on everything that's in there based on
Okay.
my own
Usually
palate.
if they brew it with the fruit, like you'll act like they most of the time are gonna say like brewed with or like a puree or something like that. But if it's just hops, a lot of like certain hops, especially with hazies, they
They don't
can
even say the
render.
hops in here though.
Oh, they don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I
I mean,
don't
it's
even.
very possible. It's very possible with hazies that the hop profile and the unfiltered nature just yields a lot of fruit
Yeah.
characteristics. So it's possible either way, but yeah, dope. I'll have to look. What's that can look like?
It has so there's like two sides of it. It has this one and then this side.
Oh, there's the Black Plague logo. Not
Yeah.
Naya, is that how you say it? NYJAH or what it is
Nija.
now?
Nija.
Nija. Okay, Nija. All right.
Yeah. Pro
All right.
skateboarder. Best skater in the world. So that's actually why I bought it, was because he was involved in it. So I was like, oh, I gotta fucking try this shit, dude. I'm a big
Okay.
skateboarder, dude. Big skater who doesn't skate anymore.
Yeah, once we get that age, skateboarding
Dude, it's
lends itself to them lower body injuries.
dangerous, dude.
Yeah, very much.
I have an electric scooter, and so I was like a little stupid on that. And I have to like remind myself, hey, bro, you're not 18 anymore, dude.
Hmm. Yeah,
Chill.
we're dads out here. Can't be doing this stuff.
Exactly, man. But let's hop into this game, man. So obviously the biggest game of the year. You and I have both been on multiple shows throughout the last 2 weeks talking about this game. People obviously tuning in have heard us talk about this game. They've heard us talk about it in depth. I've gone over even halftime props, dude. Will the hologram of Tupac arrive? Yes, plus 130, dude.
I'm
I took
saying no.
I took the yes, and then listen to this, Jordan. 2 days later, my cousin who lives in LA sends me a fucking post of a publication out there saying that Tupac's hologram will be in the halftime show.
It will be. Like
That's
that's
what
just
it,
overkill to me.
nah, dude, come on, man. Dude, I need
Like,
this.
like it's cool. It was cool when he did it in Coachella, when they did it all in Coachella, and it was like kind of like an unexpected thing. Like that was cool.
Because
But
you
then
know
it's
they're gonna
just
do
like,
California Love, bro.
yeah, they are. I mean, cool. But it's just like if it were to come out, that wouldn't be like, oh, there's this hall. It's like we already have enough people. We don't need to bring a hologram of a dude who's not living into a Super Bowl halftime show that's already got like basically five headliners. Like we just, and we only got, it's still
Yeah.
halftime. It ain't like we got like sets. You know what I mean? It's still a
They got like
halftime show.
45 minutes for halftime show.
Damn.
The halftime show is
I,
long, bro.
45 minutes for this halftime show.
I mean,
I
all
know
the
it's
halftime
usually it's
shows are
longer.
45 minutes.
Yeah. I think
The
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 whole
performance
halftime's
is
like,
probably like 30 minutes.
right. Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah. 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 But
But
set
it
up and
but
then
with
stripped down.
the
Yeah.
well, and they do the like the pregame, we'll do like a quick like analysis of the first half and look forward to the second half. And then they do the performance. The performance is usually like 35 minutes. We
Hmm.
went over all the dude. There's props out there, Jordan, for like what song will be played first, who will be the first person to say a word. Yeah,
Ooh,
dude.
I like that song played first prop. Ooh.
You think it's gonna be
I
California Love? That's a favorite, dude.
for first.
For first song, that's a favorite.
Nah, you can't start the show with the
That's what
one
I
that
said too,
everyone's
bro.
wanting. That's not how
Uh,
it works. You gotta like Mary, like how you gonna start with California Love and then how have Mary doing like let's get it crunk like 10 minutes
oh,
later.
sorry. Next episode is favorite minus 500.
See, I could see that. See, I could see that. That makes a little more sense. then
California Love is second though, plus 150, second in odds.
See, I don't like those. I wouldn't take that at all. I just feel I would be surprised if like the first thing they do is you just hear that California. Like
that's what
first, like, come on.
But I also said too, like that's a perfect song to close with.
Exactly. You could close, you could do it in the middle. Like, okay, you want, a big intro to start. You want to come out, nice. I go to a ton of shows. I mean, this is, it's my thing. The artist wants to have, a type of an entrance, right? You want to do something in the middle to capture attention, and then you want to do something at the end to leave them on a high note, right?
So you know what my theory is too? What if they come out and Kendrick starts with like Humble or DNA?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I would see them starting off with like, I could even see him like Still with Dre, like, so like we start off blum 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 blum. You get that going right there. You could even see like Mary starting, because honestly, like out of all of them, Mary has I would say she has the least amount of star power.
You think so? I say Kendrick, dude. Because Kendrick's like new, like the others have been around for like 30 years, dude.
They have. The thing with Kendrick is he's got the recency bias. Like he is the one that taps into the ones that are the most plugged into social media now, younger generations, and the ones that are
Super Bowl's
right
never really cared about that though. We usually always get like old timers, dude.
And here's the thing too with Kendrick. What I'm wondering with this man Kendrick is overdue for an LP. He's overdue. Damn released in what, 2016, 2017?
2017, the year my daughter was born,
2017.
Or no, 2016. It was 2016. Yeah. You're right, dude.
Yeah. And then he went on, and my brother and I, during the tour, what was it? The TDE championship tour. Because my brothers, they were performing in Ridgefield, Washington up here. And I bought tickets for my brother's birthday. He and I, it was, we were 5 rows from the stage.
Whew. Was that
5 rows from the stage? SZA, Kendrick,
Schoolboy.
Schoolboy. Big shout out though. My brother, love him to death, was my best man at my wedding. Obviously known him my whole life, But this dude, the agreement I told him was, look, I'm buying these tickets like for your birthday. This is massive overspend. Like these were, expensive. They weren't cheap. You gonna drive. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm paying for your ticket, but you gonna drive. He didn't want to leave until hella late. So we really only saw SZA and Kendrick's entire performance. We were getting moved to our seat while Schoolboy was doing his thing. By the time we got to our seat in the very front, after the whole thing was full, Schoolboy was like, peace, thank y'all, I'm out. And that was it. So we saw SZA, and we saw the entire performance of SZA and the entire performance of Kendrick, which, I mean, that's really what you came for, at least Kendrick. But still,
that's dope, dude. That's dope. I've seen Kendrick Lamar one time, and it was when he released what's that record called? Section 80.
Kid Mad City, Section 80. Oh yeah.
Like before he like blew up, dude. I saw him at the I think it was the Mezzanine or some in San Francisco, a little club, either the Warfield or the Mezzanine, one of those two. But awesome performance, dude. I was like, yo, this dude is it, bro. Love it.
I saw him. I've seen him twice now. TDE Championship Tour, and then that same tour where you caught him in San Francisco. It was
definitely
like,
probably played in Portland for sure.
He did. It was him, J-Rock, Ab-Soul was on the ticket.
I think Ab-Soul was definitely there too.
But Ab-Soul didn't show up at Portland.
Oh,
and they get up there, and like the hype man goes, "How many of y'all ready to see Ab-Soul?" Everybody, yeah.
Well, he ain't here.
Ab-Soul couldn't make it tonight. But don't worry, we about to play some E40. I was like, what the hell? But the energy in the crowd was so, they didn't care. Everyone was just so hyped that they didn't even care. I did, because I wanted to see Ab-Soul. But then after that, Kendrick came on. They had Stally, dude with the big long beard. I think he's with Maybach. He opened up for all them. J-Rock, Schoolboy, Kendrick. Yeah.
You listen to Blue in Exile, right?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Miles, bro.
Have you ever seen Have you ever
Red
seen
Hot,
Blue
what
and
was it? The Red Hot
live?
American Summer. I have never seen them live.
Oh, okay. That's probably a good thing, dude.
They're not good live.
Well, the one time I seen Blue live, dude, this is like probably like oh man, like 2009 maybe. Uh he was like completely inebriated, bro. Like couldn't stand on stage, dog. It was
Damn,
so
that's
bad,
bad.
dude. It was so bad, dude. I was like, what the fuck? And then like he came out that one album that was like super weird, and then it came out that he had like mental health issues, and it all started making sense. I feel hella bad, dude. Because dude probably had like super severe anxiety. Like probably didn't want to be up on stage in front of people.
Yeah, probably tried to like intoxicate himself to where he could get to that point to be able to get up there and deliver what's expected of a show like that. Yeah.
You know, it was crazy, dude. Still one of like most talented. I mean, you if you haven't heard Blue in Exile, y'all need to listen to him.
Just the Miles album, the 2020, 2021, 2020, 2021, 2021. Yeah, that
Yeah,
Miles came out in 2021. Oh my, like I mean, You Ain't Never Been Blue. I got to go back and listen to that one again. That when
but Below
that
the
album,
Heavens
bro.
is a classic,
Below
dude.
the Heavens is his classic. That's his classic. That's his classic. But to be able to hit us with, I think it was what, Red Hot American Summer or Red Hot California Summer in like 2019, 2020, and then to follow that up with Miles in 2021 after you established your classic album Below the Heavens, which dropped in like what, 2011 or some shit.
2007.
It was that long. Like it was
I
that
was in
long ago.
college, dude.
Like
Yeah.
that's crazy to me. That's just so crazy that this dude like has these type of albums just in his catalog that far spaced out.
Yeah.
But it's
Also, I'm saying he
yeah.
went through that like period of time where he was kind of like, um, going through some shit, dude, and like no one really understood at that time. I mean, just look at how far the world has come from 2009 to 2019 with
Mhm,
like mental illness and shit. Because
for
I mean,
sure.
I remember when he did that concert, everybody was like pissed off, dude. Like people were like, "What the fuck?" Like I paid this
Oh, and I
money,
get it.
this motherfucker, like to stumble across the stage and shit and slur his words. Like, dude, what the
Slobber
fuck?
on the yeah. That's not what you pay for.
Yeah, but then he comes out and it's like, all right, I understand now. We're getting way off topic, but that's okay. This is a good conversation, man.
It's
Because
always possible with me.
outside of football though, I know that you and I have very similar interests in music, dude. Like, because we both like we have a very eclectic taste of music for sure. Because I know you
Oh
love
yeah,
Rage Against
indeed.
the Machine. That's my favorite band. I have both their vinyls hanging up right here next to me.
Oh yeah. That show, that's gotta happen again. They keep pushing
Hopefully,
it back,
dude,
but they
sometime.
haven't canceled it.
They
They haven't
haven't
canceled it
canceled
yet.
yet.
So that's what I'm and they are actually part of that tour is happening in 2022.
Only on
Part
the
of it is
East
happening in the
Coast, though,
East Coast.
right?
I know, only on
Yeah,
the East, but it's all to be announced. So that just lets me know that they haven't put the kibosh on it yet. So
bro, I
let's
need
keep that.
it.
I was just literally talking to my boy about that yesterday.
I need that show to happen, dude.
I know.
I still have tickets to the Portland show too. So
Yeah, no, and I got tickets to the Tacoma one.
we're gonna have to
I'm
make it.
6 rows from the stage, bro. I would be able to yell something, and Tom Morello would hear me.
What we
Like
should
that's
do
how close
is
my seats are.
sell the tickets and then get tickets in Vegas, dude. And you should come out here in Vegas. Bring Asante with you.
Oh, I'll have to look into that. That's a lot of effort as opposed to just drive to a. I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm just saying, I got my beautiful seat sitting there that I couldn't believe I got it for as much as I got it for. I only paid
Hey,
200 to sit 6 rows from the stage.
that's pretty incredible, dude.
No,
That is incredible.
I was looking at like GA in Portland was 300.
Well, my my fiance's sister or husband-in-law bought the tickets. He's a original Bitcoin investor, so I'll leave it at that, dude.
Okay,
Original,
okay.
like original.
What's a husband-in-law, by the way? How does that work?
I mean, not a husband-in-law, brother-in-law, dude. You know what I mean, fool?
No,
It's
I
just
didn't. I was like,
it's
what
Hazy
like
Ipa.
is that like
I meant to
that
say her
polyamory? Is that
because
that polyamory? Which if
it's
it is,
her
I don't hate, you know.
it's her cousin's husband, but like her cousin is basically her sister. Like they lived together growing up. So it's like
Okay.
they're sisters more than they are cousins, and it's her cousin's husband. So her technically, I don't know what you would call that, a cousin-in-law, I guess. But it's
You
like
can.
basically her brother-in-law, you know what I mean? Like they're that close.
Maybe you call it a husband-in-law. I don't know.
There we go. Let's talk about this game tomorrow, dude. So right now, Rams +4, uh Bengals. I'm sorry, Rams -4, Bengals +4.
Yeah.
This line we've seen some movement. Opened at three and a
Jump.
half. It got bought up to 4.5, and then it came back down to 4. We're also seeing a lot of money, which I've said on APR 2 weeks in a row. I told people public does not get in on action until closer to the game. I said a lot of public money is going to come in on the Bengals on this, a lot of it, because it's a feel good story. Everybody wants to see that. You know what I mean? The Westgate book came out yesterday and said that 77% of tickets +4.5 were on the Bengals. 77%. And Westbook,
77.
yeah, and Westgate is it's the number one book, dude. Like that book sets the, like, that's what most books go off their lines. Like their heads, their odds makers at Westgate are like the best in the world at what they do.
Damn, 77. That's a
77%.
lot, bro.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a hell of. See
A
where that
lot.
stacks up against, like, recent-ish Super Bowls and stuff like that. But that's a lot.
Well, I mean, we often see money splits like that. As far as tickets are concerned, where you really want to look at some money like that is like, where is the actual money coming in on? And so 71% of the money is coming in on the Rams.
Okay.
So
That makes
that's
sense,
telling
man.
you sharp money is coming in on the Rams.
Yeah.
But majority of tickets, the average consumer is only betting 10, 20, 30, 40, $50.
Right.
The sharps
So
are
that's where a
betting
lot of those,
10,000,
right,
20,000
on the Rams, but
on
then
the
the
Rams.
average cat is on the Bengals. The majority of tickets are on the Bengals by far. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting.
So what do you take from that?
What do I take from that? I mean, I feel like it's kind of like you said earlier. It's like you said, a lot of people want to see that 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 Cinderella story, the unexpected team be able to win it. I think it was before the season started, there were 4 teams that had a lower expected win percentage than the Bengals, and it was only the Texans, the Jets, the
The
Jags,
Jags.
and the Lions. And then after that, it was the Bengals.
Yeah, the
Like the
Bengals only had a
Giants,
5.5 over or under win total.
yeah, the Giants exceeded them in preseason expected win total. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy to think about just like how those numbers panned out, and this is where they are right now. I mean, I remember Josiah and I talk about it a ton on the Cover Zero podcast, and I fry myself, and I do this. This is my worst call of the year. None of us are perfect with these things, especially when you talk as much sports as we do, having
Yep.
podcasts and featuring on other shows. You're going to be wrong if you make a bunch of calls. You got to put yourself out there. And I had Zach Taylor as the number one candidate to be let go come Black Friday. And here he is right now
Shit.
in the or Black Monday. Here he is right now in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
And so,
No, I mean,
and a lot of people,
logically though, it made sense, dude. Like the Bengals were historically one of the worst defenses of all time last year. Like that's how bad they were. And really, they added Trey Hendrickson. They added a couple pieces, Logan Wilson.
no, they drafted Logan Wilson
They
in
drafted
20. Well,
Logan.
they drafted him in 2020.
So he
They
was a
added
young
Von
cat last
Bell.
year. A Woozy they added.
They
Eli
added
Apple they
Awuzie.
added.
They added
They
Larry
added
Ogunjobi.
Bates.
No, Bates they drafted in 2018.
So
Bates is so here's
young
their
cats, and
defense
then they,
basically. The defense is
who was
there
the
are
other
on that
defensive lineman they drafted or they signed this offseason?
Larry Ogunjobi,
Yeah, Larry Ogunjobi.
who's
That's who it
actually
was.
on IR right now. He's on IR, so he won't play tomorrow. But the person who's in rotation to sub in for him is BJ Hill, who they actually ended up trading for from one of the offensive linemen that they had previously drafted. BJ Hill was the guy that intercepted Mahomes on the RPO in the AFC title game that started the comeback for the Bengals, right? So if you look on this defense, it's crazy how they got to this point. They didn't really sign any A-level dudes. They signed a lot of B-level dudes for what you might consider A-level money right now. I mean, this Bengals defense is, what is it? $78 million guaranteed at signing in their last 2 free agency periods, right? Which is up $48 million from the last 8 free agency periods combined.
Well, that's a great thing about having a great quarterback on a rookie scale contract, dude. It allows you to do these things.
And a game breaker receiver on a rookie contract.
Yep.
And another receiver on a rookie contract. With
and a running back on a rookie contract.
Yeah. It's what you need, and that's what can
well,
happen.
It's easy to say that though. Like, what are the odds of hitting on all that?
It's so rare. And then to have even to grab Eli Apple after you have all of this, who a lot of people wrote off, but to be able to have Eli Apple be the weak point of your secondary, and yet and still it's at a high value position at corner, and you only pay him $1 million.
Yeah,
and he stays healthy the whole year, and
he's been playing decent.
His chemistry functions with everyone else on that defense. I mean, there's 2 dudes, homegrown, 3 people on the defense: Jesse Bates, Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt. Everybody else that you see on this defense tomorrow are free agents at 1 year or another.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Actually, I take that back. Sam Hubbard, the other DN, he's a homegrown dude. He's a homegrown dude.
It doesn't hurt when you hit on Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And I said it when T. Higgins got drafted. I was like, dude, I don't understand how that guy dropped to the second round, dude. Like,
I see it. That was a stacked receiver class. I had he was
better than Rager though, and Ayuk.
Oh, for sure.
I would take him over both those dudes.
I had him over Henry Ruggs, who I had Henry Ruggs at 7th, and my fucking Raiders drafted that fool 11th overall. Whatever that you know.
Well, you couldn't
know how that worked out.
You couldn't handicap what was going to happen though, because
honestly,
he was
never
playing
panned
very
out
well,
to be.
He was playing very well before he got hurt, or before
he was having a better season and proving not to be a complete bust, but he was nowhere near showing that, you know what, maybe the Raiders were right in picking him where they did above all those other receivers, because Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb were still just knockout type of prospects.
Yeah, you can't. I wouldn't compare him to those two. But what Henry,
I had him that low. I had Higgins. I had Higgins. I had Lamb. I had Jefferson, all ahead of Ruggs, clearly, bar none, easily. And then we sit there and draft Henry, whatever it's going to be. I mean, water under the bridge.
That's what the Raiders do, bro. That's why, it's might be a good thing that they got rid of Mayock, because who knows, y'all could end up with the best Alabama player this year, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what y'all do. Alabama first round every year.
No, we were normally Clemson first round every year. We literally loved the Clemson guys, which is another reason why I thought T. Higgins would have landed on our team.
Nah, y'all like Alabama dudes too. Josh Jacobs, who's that safety that can't guard anyone? Abrams, can't cover shit.
He's not from Alabama.
Yeah, he is. Jonathan Abrams. Not. Yeah, he is.
He's not from Alabama. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not Alabama.
Where's he from?
You want to bet a beer on it right now?
Where's he from?
He's from SEC school. One of the was it Tennessee or Iowa or Mississippi? Mississippi
he's
State?
From.
He's not from Bama. I know that
State.
for a fact.
You're right, dude.
Mississippi State. Send me the IPA. Go ahead. Send it in the mail. Come on now.
We didn't agree to that, but all right, I got you. Damn. Right,
it was basically Josh Jacobs. That's really it. Clemson. Now they like
Leatherwood.
That's why they drafted. That's why Leatherwood is Bama. Leatherwood is Bama too. They want those guys from those programs, right? And that's why we overdraft Leatherwood. That's why two dudes from Bama, and then
I'm saying Bama and Clemson, like those are the two top programs of the last decade. Like,
Yes.
why wouldn't you want guys from there? Because they're probably, especially from Saban, like they're obviously getting taught the right things in college because, Saban gets a lot of guys drafted, but a lot of those guys don't pan out in the NFL. You know what I mean?
It's certain positions with Bama that I feel like pan out, but now we're
True.
back to getting off the
We're
rails.
getting off the rails. We are.
It's so look, tangents, bro. Me and Josiah, we do this all the time on the Cover Zero podcast. We are like notorious for it.
It goes
even on
dude.
Shout out to the Killer Crossover podcast. I was on with them last night, Maurice and Matt, and we got on this big giant tangent about Drake's discography.
Oh shit. I'm usually good about keeping it on par, but when it's just you and I, dude, I feel like we just it is the conversation goes, to have. It goes where it goes, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. Obviously, the Bengals defense has been playing well. But aside from that Chiefs game, they haven't been scoring that much. And I brought this up a few times, Jordan, and tell me that I'm crazy or correct me if I'm wrong. But aside from that Chiefs game, the Bengals have been struggling, and the best defensive line they faced in the playoffs was that Raiders defensive line. Even though the Titans gave up 9 sacks, that Raiders defensive line gave them issues. And that was a good defensive line. Titans obviously did their job. 9 sacks, first time in NFL history that quarterback has been sacked 9 times, and the team that's quarterback that was sacked 9 times won the game. The Rams have the number one
season. Yes, yeah.
The Rams have the number 1 sack win rate in the NFL. The last 4 times that the Bengals have gone against a team in the top 5 in sack win rate, they're 0-4, and they're facing the number 1 defensive line win rate team here. I mean, logically, if you take all the stories out of it, the narratives, like everything tells you to take the Rams here. Talk me out 100%. Of the Rams because Drake bet on the Rams, dude. So I need to be talked.
That's how we got to that tangent on the Killer Crossovers because of Drake's bet. But like beyond that, like if I were to look at it, from the all 22 perspective, there's so many. If I was to like do a checklist of advantage Rams, we'd be talking about like Rams 10 advantage check marks, Bengals 1.5.
Oh, 2 kicker and quarterback.
I don't even know about that. I can't even sit here and tell you that Joe Burrow is going to have a better day than Stafford because of what you don't have to say better Joe Burrow's going to have to do. Joe Burrow's a better
quarterback for sure.
I don't know if I can go there. Everyone's going to want to say right now, I'd rather have Joe Burrow be your quarterback. Of course you would. Age, time spent and all that stuff, and
number 1 quarterback against the pass rush, number 1 quarterback against the blitz.
I mean, Stafford's the number 1 against the blitz. Stafford is number 1 against the blitz. Burrow's number 1 against the blitz. No, that's Burrow. That's Stafford, bro. That's Stafford. Burrow's 2 in EPA per play. EPA lines up with that. He's also Stafford's also number 1 in EPA per play against man coverage. Stafford is number 2, or Stafford's number 1 as well. Like that's his thing. Both of these quarterbacks light up the blitz. Both of them do.
Yeah.
Does not pay to blitz either one of these guys. It does not. The only advantage I see with Cincinnati is if they can find a way to isolate either one of their outside receivers on Darius Williams with the Rams. The Rams corner. That's where I give an advantage Cincinnati. If they can isolate Darius Williams on the edge.
But they can't because you're going to have Ramsey on Jamar Chase. I mean,
will you
presume? Though? I would say that's why I said we presume. But the other receiver, even if they don't put Ramsey on Chase, the other receiver is going to be bracketed, double covered the whole game.
You would think, and I'm with you on that one. That's how I would do it. I'd actually do it this way if I was Raheem Morris. I would take a page out of the Bill Belichick book and I would do the 1 double number. And I can't remember if it was your guys' podcast or the Killer Crossover or the Bleach Brothers. if I was talking about like, how Belichick does, he wants to take away what you do best. And the way that he'll do that is he'll take his number one corner and he'll put the number one corner on your number two option and just leave that dude on an island. Because in this scenario, what that would be is Jalen Ramsey guarding T. Higgins one-on-one, right? And they'll live with that, whatever comes from it. And then you dole out all of your double teams to Jamar Chase. You bracket and you put someone over the top, or you put someone underneath, or you simply say, both of you guard him. And then you have certain rules if he's on the numbers. You have certain rules if he's the X on the backside of a 3x1. You have certain rules if he's in a 2x2, and you have certain rules if he's in a slot. And then you have certain rules if he goes in motion. But both people are just responsible for him, which is a dedicated double. There can be those how do they call it, the undedicated double, non-dedicated double, where someone just drops inside of him or someone drops outside of him, like you were talking about bracketing, and like someone just plays help to a certain area to be able to alleviate the responsibility of the person who is responsible for guarding him mano a mano. And
yeah,
so
no, I mean, that's a
I'm
great.
anxious to see how they do it.
I don't think they'll do that just because I think egos will always prevail. But I like the idea, dude. I agree with the idea because Jamar Chase is the number one wide receiver against single one-on-one coverage this year.
Yes.
Number one rated wide receiver. But on the flip side, Jalen Ramsey is the number one cornerback in one-on-one coverage. So it's kind of like a give and a take there. Like, who do we think is going to win that matchup? I don't know. But I do agree with you. Like, you might as well just put Ramsey on Higgins, lock him down, and then just double cover Chase the whole game. Especially because we don't know if Azuma in the middle is going to be worth a damn. And Boyd,
his MCL, I don't even know if he plays, man. Like, he's talked about this whole entire time that he's not missing the Super Bowl. And I get it. Like, we saw him in tears in the AFC title game when he got carted off with the MCL sprain. I get it, but
injury,
like,
dude. Higbee's already ruled out with the same injury.
Who?
Tyler Higbee for the Rams.
Oh, Higbee is. And then
same injury,
get
dude.
A lot of Kendall Blanton. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If we get out there on Sunday and it starts to be like, all right, the Rams are just saying, Jalen, earn your money. Let's put you one-on-one with Jamar and see who wins. As far as a viewer's entertainment perspective, an all 22 fan, give me that. Please give me that. I mean, I'm reminded of, there was a time in the early 90s. This was before, not early 90s, like later 90s, early 2000s. And when Dion was with the Cowboys and Moss was with the Vikings, and they played against them. I want to say it was Moss's rookie year. And it was like, how are they going to defend Randy Moss? Oh, Dion's going to be on him. Those two faced each other for 2 snaps, 2. And like, I think one might have been a run play or some shit. But it was like, we had all this expectation that that's what's going to happen from a one-on-one matchup, and it never even occurred. Yeah. So I want to see, that's the first thing I'm going to be looking when the Bengals have the ball, and it's in like just alignment wise. Where's 5? Where's 1? Who's in motion? Who follows who? Do they put Jamar Chase in the slot to avoid Ramsey? Avoid, quote unquote. I say this in air quotes because Ramsey has spent his most time in the slot this year underneath Raheem Morris in this Rams defense. So maybe they have him go into the slot if he goes into the slot. But the Rams are also the most zone heavy team in the NFL. So maybe it's a ton of zone. But when you run cover 3 and you are able to, run these vertical routes on the outside, cover 3 still ends up being man on man if you get past that hook zone linebacker on the sideline. It still ends up being man on man with the corner. So it's zone, but it ends up being man on man, just how the route distribution plays out. So these are all these things I'm going to be looking at and paying attention to.
But the one thing that does inquire too is that the pass rush doesn't get to the quarterback.
But it's going to.
Exactly. So you can run that cover 3, you know what I mean? Like, because that pass rush is number 1 win rate and sack percentage in the league, going up against the worst offensive line in sack win rate, dude.
100%. This is the worst matchup for the Bengals offensive line yet. It's like, we've talked about this throughout the entire playoffs. I was on here previewing the conference championship games with you guys earlier, and I was talking about how Chris Jones is going to just wreck Akeem Adeniji, the right guard. How we need to see Frank Clark destroy Isaiah Prince, the right tackle. Right? They did okay. They didn't take over the game like the Titans did, and Jeffrey Simmons and Bud Dupree and those guys. But nonetheless, they were still a huge factor. And Burrow was having to be amazing over and over and over again, make Chris Jones miss 2 times on one play, roll out of the pocket, find Higgins on a slant, find Jamar Chase on a back shoulder fade, even when he's doubled for that touchdown in the end zone.
Some incredible shit.
Just,
anomaly type throws.
Anomaly, exactly. Like stuff that you just can't sit here on a podcast and be like, I think the unthinkable will happen. You're almost like you aren't offering much analysis with that,
That's not Patrick Mahomes back there.
Yeah, it's not. But even, it's Joe has lived on this the whole year. The Bengals have obviously arrived here doing this. I just can't sit here and illustrate. I can't architect a game where the defensive line for the Rams doesn't just make Joe's life too impossible to continue to do what he's done throughout the whole entire course of this postseason. I can't do it.
Bro. Honestly, I think this Super Bowl is going to be a repeat of what happened last year, dude, with the Bucs and Chiefs, dude. Yeah. Like the Bucs defensive line was just way too much for the Chiefs offensive line, and fucking Mahomes was back there fucking trying to do the impossible, and it was impossible, dude. And that was like the first time we've seen that dude was actually human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're like, no, what happened. Mahomes is human. Okay, this is crazy. That's
a good reference. That's a good reference because like in that game, the Chiefs ran a ton of 5-man protection, and there was no additional help from Mahomes back there. Joe Burrow is on record, and the Bengals show this on tape. They don't run anything more than 5-man protection because Joe wants as many people in the route as possible. Yeah. So we're going to see that same thing. The only difference I think would be is if I'm the Rams, I don't send that last minute add-on 5th rusher after him. I don't spy. Like that's what the Bucs were doing. They had 4 rush, and they had usually Devin White kind of, all right, where's he bailing to? And then once Mahomes would pick a side to bail to, Devin White would move and go that way to add that extra rusher and speed up his process. I just think the Rams rush 4 because they have that big of a disadvantage. Like you keep bringing up, pass rush win rate versus their ability to block the opposing defensive line. It's no contest, bro. It's no contest. It's like Coors Light versus these hazies we drinking right here. Doesn't even match up.
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, what it seems so obvious this year just always seems to go the opposite, dude. Like,
I know,
which worries me, dude. Like, it's like, all right, everything is adding up for this team to like dominate, but this other team wins. Like, it's been like that all year, dude. I mean, the Bengals lost to the Jets.
They did. In fact, they did. They lost. Wasn't that that was the Mike White game, and they lost to the Jets after smacking the Ravens.
Yeah.
They smacked the Ravens in Baltimore, 44-17.
And the Bengals weren't even banged up either, dude. Like the Jets had a backup quarterback and smacked
Mike White. Dude. That dude's in the Hall of Fame for that game.
For that game alone, dude.
He legit. I'm not even like this. Isn't even like
if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, do we give him a Super Bowl ring?
Mike White get the Super Bowl ring. That's hilarious. But I think he is in the Hall of Fame to some capacity of like because of like first time starter and the most yards for like a first time
500 yards, right? Was it?
Yeah, I think it was like 364.
No, it was more. It had to have been more than that.
I think it was 364. Or was it 400? Was it in the 400? It was somewhere around there.
That was like when you create a fucking character on Madden and you play one game real quick, ball out, and then you just never play again. That's what he should have done.
Mike White.
When they
have
Western Kentucky's finest, dude.
That's unbelievable. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. So while we're on the topic of Rams defense against Bengals offense, and we kind of went into detail about how like the Bengals might be strategically approached by the Rams. Are you looking at this as more as a game where Joe Mixon is heavily involved as a way to reduce the pressure on Burrow, as a way to reduce, the pass rush, maybe incorporating with screens, maybe really lean on the run game so that the defensive line still at least has to play some type of a run fit rather than just busting through the line and just, come screaming straight for the quarterback at every play. Basically, like, long way to a short question. How big of a factor do you see Joe Mixon being in this game tomorrow?
Well, I think it's a great point. I think you want Joe Mixon to be involved if you're the Bengals. His over under carry right now, 16 and a half carries. So if you're taking the Bengals, I think you would love Joe Mixon over 16 and a half carries, right? I think the thing that could become an issue though is that they haven't been able to run the ball pretty much all offseason. And we're talking about
All
against
postseason, yeah, it hasn't worked a lot.
and we're talking about defenses that are playing the Bengals against the pass. Like, so they're really not loading up against the run, right? Um, and you're going against the number one rush, or not number one rush defense, but you're going up against the best defensive line in football because they have the best defensive lineman in football, who's
They
Aaron
do.
Donald. But the
I
Rams
mean,
don't.
you put the Rams number one defensive line, like their front four.
Yeah, I mean, the
So do I. So do I.
every stat says it. The only thing that the Rams do struggle with sometimes is stopping the run. However, uh, you know, they stopped the run against the Niners, dude. Who's the best? One of the best rushing teams, especially schematically rushing teams.
It's true. It's true.
And
the only difference with that one is that the only difference, or like if I'm a Bengals fan and I'm thinking that, like you said, if you're a Bengals fan, you want Mixon to have over that 16 and a half threshold. The only difference is that if you're the Niners, you're playing the Niners, stop the run first, make Jimmy beat us. That's easy. So you're going to allocate resources towards stopping that. Like you also said, when you're playing against the Bengals, you're allocating resources over the top. You aren't bringing that other safety into the box to worry about the run because you need that safety over Jamar Chase. You need that other safety over T. Higgins. So it's that cat and mouse game on how do you want to play it. So, both very good points. And yeah, I want to see how that plays out too.
So I think that's a big key, dude. Like if the Bengals win, Joe Mixon probably has a great game rushing the ball because I also think that the Rams could get up on the Bengals quick and the Bengals could be playing catch up. You know what I mean? And I think that's very, very dangerous in that aspect too, because it does take away the run game. You know what I'm saying? And people are like quick to say, well, yeah, they came back from the Chiefs down 21-3 or 24-3 or whatever it was.
21-3. Yep.
Well, yeah, they did. But you know what? The Rams defense is a lot better than the Chiefs defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
If the Rams go down or if the Rams go up 21-3, this game is over, dog. I'm sorry, dude.
Like it's bad. It's gonna get real bad because then now the defense is like, I don't care. Please run the ball.
Well, not only the defense either, but you know what the Chiefs? You know where the Chiefs lost that game against the Bengals?
They didn't want to run the ball in the second half.
They didn't want to run the ball in the second half. They ran the ball for over 100 yards in the first half, and they refused to run the ball in the second half against a defense that was rushing the ball, rushing three guys.
Drop 8 coverages with an 18-point lead. Yeah. You were ripping off runs with Jerick McKinnon. 6 yards, 5 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 7 yards.
Dog. He had like over 100 yards.
And then it made no sense. Like he literally did not have a run in the first half that went for less than 4. Less. Yep. He didn't have a single one. And then you got a big ass padded lead, and you don't even want to give this man the ball again.
Never rush the ball, dog.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. It's literally when people say there's a fix in sports, that game makes me question a lot of shit. Because I mean, you're a football player, dude. Andy Reid has been around football a very long time, dude. You cannot tell me that he didn't see his team just running the ball down their throat and was just like, okay, I'm not going to run anymore. We're up 21-3. We're just going to throw the ball. Why?
These
Why?
things happen. These things happen in sports a lot. They happen in sports a lot, and
For why?
I don't have an answer for that. I really honestly can't sit here and say that someone who knows more about football than me, so who is Andy Reid, and I can't sit here and tell you why he did or didn't do what he did. He's long been a proponent of passing the ball a lot. He was really
He
at the
is.
forefront of that. He always has been. And there's also that adage, which not that I agree with it 100%, but there's the adage of, oh, they took their foot off the gas, blah, 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 this, that, the other.
Yeah, but if you're
On the
running
other
the ball
side
for
of
like
that,
6 yards a
I
carry, dude, you ain't
know,
taking your foot off the gas.
I know you're basically just if they would have just kicked that field goal at the end of halftime and then came out in the third quarter and ran the ball and ran the ball and ran the ball and ran the ball, probably wouldn't be sitting here breaking down a Bengals and Rams matchup. You know what I mean?
Oh, we wouldn't.
So
We'd be sitting here breaking down Chiefs Rams, which is the game we're supposed to have.
I'm good with this is what we're supposed to have, because this is
Well, actually, we're supposed to have the State Farm Bowl, Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes, but
I can't go there.
Aaron Rodgers decided that he wanted to fucking not play quarterback in the second half of that football game because, anyways, I don't want to go over there.
Yeah. It's enough of that one. But
what do you,
I mean, really,
what do you think of these? Let's go through some player props real quick. So
right.
both quarterbacks over under 24.5 passes. Interested to hear your response to this.
Both under?
Both over under 24.5. They both have the same.
One is for sure going over.
Who?
One, honestly, I think both go over. I'm taking the over on both.
So you want to hear something you want to hear something interesting?
What's up?
Joe Burrow has only gone over 24.5 passes 4 times this year, completions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
he didn't even go over that last week against Kansas City.
I know, because the Bengals wanted to come out early and run the ball, and because they just thing.
He gets a lot of big pass plays. He leads the league in
50-yard completions. And 50-yard completions. Joe Burrow this year, the Bengals set an NFL record, but I think he had 12 pass completions that went for over 50 yards this year. And that was the most we have seen of any quarterback in at least the last 21 seasons. I didn't go back further enough to determine that, but it was in the last 21 seasons.
Stafford last 2 games over 24.5, went 28 completions against Tampa, 31 against San Francisco, only 13 against Arizona because that game was over very quick.
Is the number completions or attempts?
Completions, sorry.
Oh, completions. Oh, that changes everything. I was saying attempts, like
way over.
They're both clearing 24 attempts. 24 completions.
24.5 completions.
24.5. I'm thinking.
I thought I said completions. I didn't.
I think you said passes. Just 24.5 passes.
Oh, I meant completions.
Which could be completions or incompletions. But to answer both, I think yes, for sure over that much in attempts, for sure. But completed passes, I'm gonna say they're both under that. They're both under that. They're both under 24 completed passes.
I think Stafford over, Burrow under, to be honest.
I'm looking at Stafford in the 20s, but below 24.5.
I feel like the Rams, I mean, obviously they want to run the ball first and foremost, but I think that they're very much exceeding throwing the ball lately. I think they got something good going with OBJ. Cooper Kupp obviously is going to get like fucking 35 catches in the game.
35.
Dark horse Super Bowl MVP there. But yeah, dude, I think they got something going there, and like people keep saying like Cam Akers this, Cam Akers that. Cam Akers, honestly, other than that one run he had against Arizona, he hasn't been that great since he came back. He's only averaging 3.5 yards per carry.
Well, honestly, he's even less than that, isn't he? Is he less than that?
No, it's 3.5. I'm pretty sure.
3. Yeah. Yeah, I thought Akers. Well, in the postseason, just the postseason, I thought he was like 2.6 per carry.
Well, he's only really played in he only played like 2-3 carries in the fucking first game and his first game back, which was the game before postseason. Um, yeah,
And
so
he's what?
his
No
first
runs
game
over
back
15
against the
yards.
Niners, 5 rushes, 3 yards, 0.6 yards. Against Arizona, 17 rushes, only 55 yards. And really, everyone just saw that one rush where he like fucking
15
took
yard
Buda
run.
Baker out. And
Right.
other than that, I mean, he was garbage. Against Tampa,
Then
24 carries, 48 yards, but two
yes, yeah, so
fumbles, dude.
two fumbles,
Two
and then in
costly
the title game,
fumbles. Yeah, and
title
Tampa.
game,
And then San Francisco, 13 carries, 48
yes.
yards. His best
So
game,
he's yeah, so
3.69 yards.
he's 59 carries for 154 yards, 2.6 per carry. But that goes to your
Whew.
point. He has not been good.
Yeah.
2.6. 2.6. That's not good. I think of what a lot of that is, and I talked about this on Cover Zero. What a lot of that is it's like we're seeing a guy come off of an Achilles blowout. And the fact
Early.
that he's back off of an Achilles blowout and he has one run that makes you go, wow. And then you factor in the Achilles, you're like, wow. So
Yeah.
therefore, it jumps off the screen to you. And that was a lot of it with me. I had to realize myself as like a couple of weeks ago, I had actually had COVID. So I was isolated up in the room just watching film until I got bored of watching film, if you can believe it or not. You do it for like, 4 or 5 straight hours with really no other obligation. It's a lot of goddamn time to watch film.
That
But I was
is.
like,
That's awesome, though.
this dude is really not popping. I was like, this dude is really not popping. So then I went and looked at the numbers, and that's when I had wrote down, wow, he's only averaging 2.6 per carry, and those fumbles like you were bringing up in the divisional round. So that's I think why also we saw in the NFC title game him and Sony
Sonny
Michel
Michelle.
on a split, and Sony actually had more snaps than him.
Sonny was better, too.
And I think we see that again coming up Sunday. They'll have Cam in the game, but I think Sony's going to get the majority of snaps, and Cam will be the kind of change of pace dude. You know what I mean? Something like that. So,
Yeah, I think the one big thing is like, obviously, the way Sean McVay likes to play, he obviously wants to establish the run and like he will force feed the run, dude, until he can't. You know what I mean? I think he feels more comfortable throwing the ball at any given time because he has Matt Stafford over Jared Goff. But
yeah,
even we saw last year too, when the run wasn't working against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I'm talking 2020, Jared Goff threw for like 360 yards in that game against Tampa, and Matt
I
Stafford is
remember.
obviously a better version of that. Um, but yeah, dude, Sony Michelle actually was garbage last week too. 10 carries, 16 yards, dude.
Yeah, I mean he's on the season now. On the season for Sony Michel, he's averaged 3.98 yards per carry.
Yeah, not
So
great.
that's right around the borderline. Like it's in today's NFL, you want to see at least 4 or 5. You want to
Yeah.
see at least 4 or 5 in today's NFL. Ideally
Shit. Give
5
me
if
4-2,
you can.
dude.
Ideally for me, with how I approach the run, for me to really be a hammer it, hammer it, hammer it. I want that 4 or 5. I want that 4 or 5. That's just me. That's just my personal
Man, if
thing.
I
But
get
I
four
think
yards to carry, I'm running every down because that means every 3 downs you're
all you
getting a
need is
first
4 yards
down.
of play, right? Yeah, I know the old adage. I know the old adage, but it rarely ever works out where it's like a 4 yard per carry average rarely ever works out where it's 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 4 and
Yeah, I
4
mean,
and
never,
4.
but
It works out
on an
differently.
average, it is.
But like
you
that's
know.
why I want that 4 or 5. I want it a little bit better. That's just how I have always done it. Because
But
it's
if you
like
think
look at
about
like
it,
this. Look at like this. Joe Mixon, he averaged over 4 in the AFC title game. But the Bengals did under center run game, right? Between Mixon and P. Ryan, right? But one of those carries was a 21-yard run,
right.
right? So and I don't want to do the whole like take it away thing, but like that 21-yard run really skews that average. and
But
it
at the
puts it
same
to that
time,
4-2 threshold.
if you get in 3rd and 3 or less, or 3rd and
The
2,
run is on the
especially
table.
in less, yeah,
The
the
run
run
is on
is
the
on the
table.
table.
The run, yes, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that 100%. The run, I'm always, if it's 3rd and 3, I am always of the mind that I put it in my quarterback's head. Like, here's our pass play call. And if you get a too high look with a favorable front, just have a
Audible
one play
to
kill and check to that run. That's how I am. I'm not a lineup in heavy. I'm a lineup in shotgun. It's going to look like everything like a pass. And if you're going to play it like it's a pass based on my personnel and it's 3rd and 2, yeah, let's go ahead and run that ball. Like that's where I'm at. I want that favorable box count. I want two safeties deep. And then that's my philosophy. That's how I approach the run game.
mean, the Chiefs had that 1st, 2nd, 3rd down in the second half last game and refused to run the ball. So
refuse to run it. Like, I have that built-in call, especially because the Bengals dropped 8 man into coverage. So then if they're doing too high, which they did the whole time, too high with 8 dropping, like, I'm having that built-in check where my quarterback can just survey and be like, all right, let's go to the run.
Yeah.
And then make that check at the line, hand it off. That's like, I'm doing that. That's how I use the run as basically like, keep them honest. But then in the 3rd and short range, philosophically, I like the run to be something that you can always be like, oh, you're giving me the run, I'll take the run. But I'm very rarely a person who's going to strategize to build off of the run, because just the way that people can pass the ball and diagnose and scheme up ways to get yards in the pass, just way more efficient way of moving the ball.
That's true. So what do you think about the over rush attempts there? Joe Mixon over, what is it, 16.5 rush attempts. Cam Akers over 15.5.
Cam's under.
Sonny Michel under 5.5 rush attempts.
Oh, Sony's only at 5.5.
5.5.
Give me that Sony over and that Cam under.
Matthew Stafford over 2.5 rush, over under 2.5 rush attempts.
I don't even flirt with that.
Burrow.
Sony is literally at 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5 rush attempts, dude.
Over easily for Sony. Hammer that over.
Yeah, it's got to be like easy, right?
Hammer that over.
Matthew Stafford over 5.5 rush yards. Joe Mixon over 60.5 rush yards. Cam Akers over 64.5 rush yards, over under.
What book are you examining? Because I actually want to go put some money on that over for Sony Michel rush yards.
This is a website that basically like averages out every book.
Okay.
Vegas Insider. So it takes every book in Vegas. I shouldn't say, but they also do DraftKings on here too. So okay. DraftKings, I'll have Caesar, to go MGM, Circa, Westgate averages out all of them.
Okay, I'll go peruse that board and see what they're working with and put some money on that Sony Michel over.
You like Sony Michel over 5.5 rush attempts?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that.
He's rushed for a lot more in his last. Yeah, that seems like easy money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even know it was like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that.
Yeah, that's easy. All right, what do you think about receiver props? T. Higgins over under 5.5 catches. Cooper Kupp over under 8.5 catches. Jamar Chase over under 5.5 catches. OBJ over under 5.5. Tyler Boyd over under 4.5. Mixon over under 3.5 catches. Akers over under 2.5. Van Jefferson over under 2.5.
I like what's the Cooper Kupp 8.5 is a tough one for me to go into. I would say he does exceed it.
He had like 12 catches against the Niners, dude.
But I could see him honestly having 8 tomorrow and like 8 for 111 and 2 TDs. I could see a day like that and not even be surprised. And then you took the money and it's like, damn, I thought he would, but he still had a great day. OBJ is sitting at what, 5?
5.5.
Over.
See, I would take that
Over.
under. I would take Cup over because Cup gets open against everybody, dude. There's like literally from a betting perspective, they have not been able to put his props over enough, dude. Like they started the year 6.5, went up to 7.5, kept going over 7.5 completions. Then they went up to 8.5, kept going, went over 8.5. Then they would drop
So
it
you
back to
think
7.5.
you think Odell gets under 5.5 grabs?
Yeah, I like under 5.5.
I like
Just for
over 5.5 for Cup. I'd take the over on honestly both of those. I would not bet on the Cup over. I might even parlay the if I can find a way to parlay the Odell over receptions and the Michelle over carries. I'm doing that.
the one thing about Odell Beckham that you have to get very careful about is that you know he's really the same guy since Cleveland. He's just not dropping the ball, right?
Actually,
So he's
no.
getting
He's open this. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's open the same rate that he was open in Cleveland. He just has a quarterback that likes to target the backside dig.
well, and he's
That's the
not dropping the
difference.
ball. He's
He's
not
not,
dropping nearly as much as he was in Cleveland.
but he's
But
also
with
getting the ball a lot more.
he's definitely getting the targets, dude. He's getting 8, 7, 5, 4, 8, 11 targets, but he's only gone over 5.5 catches 3 times since he's been a Ram.
How many times are those are in the postseason?
Twice.
Twice.
The last two.
Yeah, the last two, and it's going to continue again.
I mean, you could very
The
well be right. I'm not willing to
give me
put
that over.
my money there. I'm not gonna take that bet. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I do. I love that.
But
I
I see
love
where
that.
I would lean over. I don't like it though. I like Cooper Cup over 8.5 more, and I like OBJ over 5.5. To be
See,
honest,
I'm the other way. I'm the other way because I could see Cup right at 8, but I got.
what do you
I
think
mean, the
about
8 to 9 for him is it's a small margin.
what do you think about Higgins and Jamar Chase both over under 5.5 catches?
I honestly like Higgins over 5. I think I might
Five
even
and a
like the
half.
over on both. Yeah, yeah. I think we see at least 6 from Higgins. And then with Jamar, that one's tough. I might even say the over on both.
So Jamar Chase has only gone over 5.5. Uh,
He went over 5.5 against the
one,
Raiders.
2, 3, 4,
He went
5.
under 5.5 against the Titans. And then he went, didn't he hit 5 against Kansas City?
So 8 of his last 11 games, he has gone under 5.5 catches.
Yeah. And so then he hit over against Kansas City.
Kansas
He hit
City,
over
Raiders,
Raiders.
Kansas
And he hit
City, Baltimore
over Baltimore.
are the only 2 games he's gone over 5.5 catches since November 28th.
I like Higgins to hit that over more than I like Jamar. I like Higgins to hit that over more than I like Jamar. Very much so. Higgins was really honestly the chain mover guy, the Joe Burrow play break down, find somebody while you're scrambling away from that defensive line. He was that dude in the AFC title game. Like T. Higgins had well over 100 yards in that game.
Yeah,
And
I
what
agree
like
with
8
that.
grabs or something like that, they take away the vertical, In that second quarter, the second half, you started to see T. Higgins breaking over the middle, running those slants, running those in breakers, and just Joe really being able to find him off script. So yeah,
Right.
I like Higgins to exceed that over tomorrow more than I like Jamar to do it.
Damn. I agree with you. I think I would take T over 5.5, and I would take Jamar Chase under 5.5.
I'm not betting on Jamar though. I would bet on T.
Over.
I bet T over, but I would if I were to pick Jamar over or under, I would pick the under, but I don't want to put any money on it.
Okay.
Like I'm not that confident about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, I feel that. So it's a lean.
Mm-hmm. I would lean Jamar under, and I
I would
would
lean.
bet T over.
I would agree with you. I honestly like both of them. I'd probably lean both under 5.5. Uh, Actually, I don't know, dude, because I think they're gonna be playing catch up. So I'm probably with you. Take Joe, and then Jamar Chase under for sure. I think Jamar Chase going under.
The Rams are a very zone heavy team, and it's really going to just come down to the matchups that they get. If I'm Joe Burrow, I'm looking at Darius Williams and being like, where is this dude at? And I'm going to try to get that, and I'm going to try to just keep an eye on that overall. I mean, I have to do it. MVP odds isn't like Cooper Kupp like one of the like favorites.
No, he's plus like 600. Obviously, the
Plus
two
six.
quarterbacks are the two favorites. So the two
What are
quarterbacks
their
are
odds?
like, Matt Stafford, I think, is like plus 250. I think Burrow's like plus 300. Let me see. Hold on. Super Bowl MVP odds. I know Cup was like plus 500 earlier today.
Okay.
Let's see here. Cup plus 600, Aaron Donald plus 1,300, Stafford plus 100, Beckham plus 2,000. That's just the Rams.
Okay. I
Cam
don't think
Akers
anyone
plus
from the
3,000.
I'm not even touching a Cam Akers.
Let's see here. We got Jamar Chase. I don't know. There we go. All right. Evan McPherson plus 4,000. Stafford plus
That's funny.
135, Burrow plus 225, Cup plus 600, Aaron Donald plus 800, Jamar Chase plus 2,000, OBJ plus 2,500, Mixon plus 2,500, Akers plus 28, Von Miller plus 3,300, Evan McPherson plus 4,000.
The Von Miller sounds kind of enticing because
Plus
I can see like there's
3,300.
plus. I mean, just the odds. The only reason is because of the odds. That's the only reason. I mean, I expect him to be pretty solid, and a lot of the ways that I anticipate, like the Bengals' offensive line approaching this game, is they know that their definite weaknesses at that right guard spot with Akeem Adeniji or Jackson Carman, who ends up playing there. They know that, so they're going to slide a lot of help that way. So long as the Rams don't play head up on the center Trey Hopkins, and the Rams do have a front that will do that. Two things to look at really going into this game. One, 5-man front versus a 4-man front when it comes to the Rams. So you got Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Ashawn Robinson, who would be the defensive nose guard playing head up on the center, along with Greg Gaines and Leonard Floyd, right? But if they move Ashawn Robinson out, it's just a 4-man front. And, then that means now the center is uncovered, so he can slide left to right. He can move and provide help. If he doesn't have someone dead up on his face, then he's able to, move to Donald. And there's a lot of times where if I'm at least the Rams, that's what I don't need 5 defensive linemen out there. I'm going to put my 4, and I'm not going to blitz, and I'm going to make you beat me without me blitzing. So by the way of design, that's going to leave a one-on-one likely with Von Miller on Jonah Williams, the left tackle, or it could leave a one-on-one with Von Miller on Isaiah Prince, the right tackle, however they choose to deploy him. And if Von gets a strip sack, if Von gets another sack, if Von then recovers a fumble, like if he gets a safety, I could
Isn't
see
Von Miller
that.
already a Super Bowl MVP?
Yes, he is.
Damn, he'd be like the
Yes, he
first
is.
person ever to win 2 Super Bowl MVPs as a defensive player.
Is a defensive player. Yes, he would be. Mm-hmm. What's funny, and throughout the course of this week, I unpacked this a little bit. Do you remember when Ray Lewis won the MVP for the Ravens when they beat the Giants in like 2000?
And the worst Super Bowl ever, yeah.
I don't know if that was the worst Super Bowl ever. The worst Super Bowl.
2001.
The worst Super Bowl I remember watching, of course, my Raiders and Bucks aside, the worst Super Bowl I remember watching was Denver and
Broncos
Atlanta
and
with the Dirty
that one
Birds.
too.
That was
Broncos
just
and
such a forgettable
Seahawks
Super Bowl.
too.
Broncos Seahawks, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. It was never entertaining, like, or it was never a game, like
Yeah.
those type of things. But to the Ray Lewis one, do you know what that man won the MVP of the Super Bowl that day? Do you know what his statistical total was? Because when the guy wins, then they put that crawler down there of his output, his statistical output.
He probably had like 5 tackles, 3
3.
tackles.
Well, to be correct, 2 assisted, so 5 total tackles. But on the crawl, since that is, you can't put that there on the crawl when someone wins MVP, because that's not impressive at all. 3 tackles, 2 assisted. What they put on the crawl was led a dominant defense. That's what it said.
After he murdered someone like 2 years prior, that's crazy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Led a dominant defense. MVP. So there's always
sell
those
your soul to the devil, bro.
You can squander away your or the MVP award can just be doled out to just someone that's not deserving of it at all. Shout out to Malcolm Smith as well.
I don't think they would throw it to Von Miller in this case. Well, Malcolm Smith got 2 picks in that game though.
Right. So that's a little bit more deserving, but that should have been Cam Chancellor. That should have been Cam Chancellor. That should have been his award. But either way, I mean, the point being, narrative and what they want it to be can often steer an MVP vote.
Isn't it crazy how like the mainstream, everybody like forgot about that bad Super Bowl from Peyton Manning?
Which one?
Definitely that Denver Seattle one. I feel like
the Denver Seattle one.
Nobody ever talks about, even though Seattle dominated Denver. Like, that shit was brutal, dude.
It was murder. But I mean, to me, like Peyton, I mean, Peyton's 6'5", right?
Yeah.
They started the game off with the center hiking the ball over Peyton's head.
Yeah.
How high does that snap have to be?
Dude.
like, I mean, that's insane to me. So you wear a helmet, that's adding another 2 inches. So this ball was near 7 feet in the air. Yeah, right, exactly. This ball is coming in at like Akeem Olajuwon height. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, this is how we started off. Like, this is already a man who had to play with like a terrible defenses in Indianapolis and all that other shit. But yeah, no, like it's such a team game that, at times these things can happen. And it's not like Peyton played great on his own. He certainly didn't on his own accord. But
that's facts.
But yeah.
All right. So let's wrap this up. What are your favorite bets, dude, of this weekend?
Honestly, let me get that Sony Michel over 5.5.
Okay, over Sony Michel over 5.5 carries.
I love that one. Let me get T Higgins over 5.5 grabs.
T Higgins over 5.5 catches.
Let me get. Do I want Odell over 5.5? Let me get Odell over 5.5. And then my fourth, if I had to pick it, Cup as well over 8.5.
Cup over 8.5. So
I don't see Stafford. I don't see Stafford do, like, if Stafford's gonna complete more than 20 balls, right? He's gonna complete like 22.
Yeah.
That's 9 to Cup, 6 to Odell. That's only 15.
I mean, I like Cup over, but my favorite bets this weekend, I'm gonna recap it. I've said it on 2 podcasts in the last 2 weeks. So I like Rams first half -2 points. I like them in the first half. I also like them full game, but I love the first half Rams -2. I think they're gonna dominate the first half. I think they're going to get a lead, and Sean McVay only has one loss when he leads after halftime. So I like the Rams to win
That
the
was
game
the Ram. That was this year too. That was the final game of the
against the
regular season.
Niners. Yep.
He's like what
I like
30-1.
Yep, 30-1. I like Burrow under 24.5 completions. I like Cam Akers under 64.5 rushing yards.
I love that one too.
Yep. And
That's actually a really dope one too.
I like the under 48.5 total on the total score, under 48.5.
What's your final score?
I think it's going to
Like numbers
be
wise.
I think it's going to be like Rams 24, Bengals 18.
I got Rams 27, Bengals 20.
I think it's going to be a one possession game. I think the Rams are going to be
Yeah, me
ahead by
too.
more than 4, and I think the Rams win the game.
You think you get a chance of a backdoor cover from the Bengals?
I do think so that's why I like 24-18. I think it's going to be like 24-10 going into the fourth quarter, and the Rams could score right there, get
The Bengals score right there and make it 24-8, 24-17, 24-18.
17, go for the 2, or even go 24-17, somewhere in between there. I don't think the Bengals are going to score a lot, dude. To be honest, they haven't really been that great in the red zone all postseason.
Yeah, you talked about that on the title game preview show.
Especially, I mean, against the Chiefs, they did better. Obviously, I mean the Chiefs, like, the Rams are a much better defense, and the Rams are a better defense than the Titans and the Raiders too. And the Titans and Raiders held them, to 2 in what was it? Only 2 touchdowns in 9 trips in the red zone in both those games combined. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Rams are one of the best red zone teams defensively in the league all year. So I think that's gonna be a huge. I don't think the Bengals are gonna score a lot, dude.
Yeah, I've got them at 20 just because it's tough for me to everything that we have seen. Like, of course, I could definitely see a path where they score a lot less because as I broke this game down so many times, everyone that doesn't necessarily, family members of mine that, what did you think for the show? What are you thinking for the game? What are you thinking for the game? What you got? What you got? What you got? I'm just basically like, my answer in short is just too much Rams. It's just too much Rams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's too much Rams for me to think the Bengals. And then they're like, Joe Burrow, of course, and I'm like, yeah, but, that's the answer. Yeah, but, and so I do see 20, like a solid, just straight up 20 points. That's two touchdowns and then, 2 field goals.
Interesting prop here, Jordan. Will there be a field goal kicked over 57 yards?
No.
Yes or no? No?
No.
All right.
No. I would take definitely the under on that.
The yes is like plus 175, which is pretty good value.
The yes is plus 175. What's the no?
The no's like minus 220, 225, 230.
Woo, yeah. I don't want to. Well, I might even. I mean, but I just don't like. This is just me. I am not a negative odds taking dude, and maybe that's just my lack of betting experience. Yeah, well, no, most people are that way. Like the odds just
usually if you
know what I mean.
If you would take like a minus 225, it's honestly, unless you're gonna throw like $2,000 on it and you're that confident in it, it's like no point in even betting.
There's no point, right? There's no point because if it happens, you're like, damn it, I put 20 to win 450. Like, what's the point of that? You know what I mean?
And then if it loses, you're like, dude, I put fucking
you feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
you feel like an idiot. Like, it's which can happen. I mean, I've been there. It
happens all the time, dude.
Bro, I was this season. I had because I'm not a bet guy like you are. I don't bet that much. I don't follow the bets as much. I always know the spread. I always know the over under. But like into the props and all this, and I just don't do it a ton. But I was at one of my boys' house. Shout out to my guy Gitano. We played high school football, played high school basketball, high school track together, middle school as well. And he was in a survivor pool, right, throughout the course of the season. It was a 50-man survivor pool.
How
And
many
it
left
was the
standing?
week. What's that?
How many left standing?
Well, now I don't know. And now it's done. It's a regular season one. It just pertains to the regular season. But the week that I went over to his house, there was only 4 people left, and he was one of them. And it was the week that Dallas played the Broncos, the Raiders played the Giants, and the Bills played the Jaguars.
Oh shit. The Jags, the
Right?
Bills killed hell of fucking, or the
The
Jags killed
Bills.
hell of Survivor Pool that
So
week.
so it was Dallas against Denver in Dallas. The 3 other people that weren't my boy that were left in the 50-man survivor pool all took Dallas that week. Right? Dallas lost 30-7 against Denver that day. Right? So that game you could tell was over, started the fourth quarter. The Bills were playing the Jags. It was 9-6 in the fourth.
Yeah.
So we tune into this Bills game like he's got basically he's got 6 G's writing on this
Right.
for his his $50 whatever, $40 whatever it was buy-in. And boom, and he was sitting there and he was like beating himself on the head, like he was like getting upset at himself. I'm like, bro, how can you blame yourself for picking the Bills over the Jags? Like, how are you
Yeah.
like, I get
There's
you're
no way,
upset at
dude.
what,
It
there's
happens,
no way
dude.
you could do that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's crazy.
I should have picked the Jags to win. How? You're gonna drive yourself crazy with the wrong
Yeah.
thinking. Right? Like, I don't know. It's just that I've seen this type of stuff happen before. And we've
That's the
all
kind of shit that gets you on bad losing streaks, to be honest, because when shit goes like just crazy like that and you're like, oh, I should have seen that coming, like I should have thought about that, then you think about that shit every time you analyze a game going forward, and it ends up
you
costing you,
overanalyze.
dude. Yep.
Yeah, you overanalyze.
Yep.
You
And
go,
as a
okay, this is what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna take the other side of it because I could be wrong. So,
yep.
and I feel like that's this Super Bowl. I feel like that is this Super Bowl. Like, well, but Joe has been great all the time and he's made it work all the time. So the Bengals are going to win. I can't sit here as a lucid person and make that type of logical pick. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, and also as someone that like, you know, bets every day, makes some money betting, that is it's a true like feeling that everybody has, dude. And even when you start winning, you know, people that are winning, they continue what is helping them win. So if one strategy analyzing a game helps you win, you continue that until you lose, and then you lose, and it's like, all right. So that's the most important thing, is really like, okay, if I lose, like what did I miss in this game? Like, and there's a lot of things you can't quantify, dude. And I'm an analytics guy, bro. You know that. But there's a lot of things like you just can't quantify in
yeah,
life,
oh
dude.
yeah,
You can't quantify it, and shit
there's a
happens,
human element
bro.
to all this. So
Yeah,
it's a
hundred
human element.
percent,
Like
dude.
why? Like you can see Matthew Stafford do these amazing throws and this, like, how in the world? Oh my god! But then you also see Matthew Stafford throw the ball directly to Jaquaski Tart.
Yeah,
But when he does it,
he
Jaquaski Tart
drops
doesn't
it.
catch it.
Yeah, and it's like
There's
it's
nothing you can do to
unquantifiable,
quantify
dude.
both of those things happening, but
Yeah,
they
it's
happen.
crazy, bro.
Yeah,
It's insane, dude. And that's the thing, is like, never get upset if you lose a bet, and never get too high when you win a bet, because the world has a way of equalizing itself out, dude. And it's
for
about
sure.
finding that balance between, I think, analytics, watching the game. I don't know, dude. If I had the perfect answer, I'd be a fucking gazillionaire. And
Right. No, I mean, we're not Biff. You know what I mean?
you
Like,
know,
we're
it
not
is,
Biff. We don't have the
it,
almanac, you know?
but
So
we out here doing our best to analyze the game to bring some good bets. So I appreciate that, Jordan. We're late, dude. We are here on the West Coast, dude, and we are over midnight. So this is Super Bowl Sunday officially. If you are
officially,
officially as you are listening to this. I appreciate you coming on, bro. I am sorry for the technical difficulties. Did not expect
No,
that
it's all
shit,
good. It's
but
all good.
we made this shit
I'm a couple
happen.
days late, so
I Hey, I had a good time though, bro. I appreciate you,
always
dog.
do.
Every
Always do.
time
Yeah, no.
every time we talk, dude, I appreciate it, dog, and I really enjoy our conversations.
Yeah, indeed. No, that's why I stuck it through because every time we get on this, it's always fun. So
Hell yeah, man.
I'm gonna take a little bit of time off after the Super Bowl. Make my yearly trip. We go out to Astoria and
Yeah,
we hit
dude, I
up
want to
Fort
go out there,
George.
dude.
I know. I was telling you about that last time. You and
When
Ben.
is it?
Well, it's they're not having it this year. It would be next year in February.
Okay.
For hopefully, unless there's another strain that does this whole thing again of COVID and whatever. But
It's
they
not.
still, regardless,
Let's be
they still do
positive.
Stout Month. Regardless, they still do Stout Month. So it's still Stout Month out here in Portland and in Oregon when you hit up Fort George. So I've always made it a habit of being at that brewery in February when the Super Bowl ends. So I'll be out there next week, but taking a week off and then back on my prospect shit. And anytime you guys want me on we can break down some draft prospects, I'm down.
Hell yeah, man. I will if not so I don't know what the plans are for APR, but at least I've been doing this in the game podcast, which is just myself, and then I have someone on every single week. So definitely want to have you on talking some NFL draft prospects. If we don't do an APR, I don't know the plan for APR in the offseason, to be honest.
Hey, just let me know. I'm down to always talk ball, but I'm gonna need 2 weeks to decompress after this Super Bowl. It's kind of crazy. Like this is the
Yeah.
last game preview I will do until September.
Yeah, man. It is the
So
last NFL game preview I'm going to be doing till September. I will be doing a lot more.
I don't understand, man, how you do. I don't know. Like I got to give you props on that. Like how you do every sport, all sports, all bets. Like I know how I am with football. Like I don't have like I watch my Blazers regularly, but I don't go back and then watch film like I do with football. Like I mean, I only got the time for the football, but like how you do it with every sport and all sports all the time.
it's
Salute,
called
man.
it's called 6 TVs at a time at least, plus a laptop and a computer.
That's me on Sundays during the NFL season. I got 3 TVs and a laptop, but that's like, solid 20 weeks out of the year, if that. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
So,
this year I've been doing less NBA. I've been watching a lot more college hoops, dude. So it's like it's even crazy. Like, bro, I can't even be. Just ask my wife, dude. She'll tell you,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
We
what I was
were
saying with
we
mine
were out
as well.
shopping today, and I had my cell phone walking around the store the whole fucking the whole time we were in the store watching the game.
Damn.
They did.
Well, man, big salute to that.
You
And
gotta do what you gotta
I
do,
might be
dude.
hitting you up for who the Blazers should or shouldn't draft because I don't know anything about these NBA prospects and I'm not digging into the tape of all of them. I'm not going to do it. And my Blazers, I just know need a lot of help. So
Actually,
yeah,
I don't think the Blazers are in that bad of position. I'll definitely tell you about it. I'll get you on the one of these podcasts. We'll talk Blazers, dude. We'll like
okay,
only
well,
talk
let's do that.
Blazers
All right,
for sure.
because beyond that, I don't know a ton about the NBA. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because
I mean, I might
I
know. I know,
actually
of course, I know more than the average fan, but like I don't.
Anthony Simons, he might
I like
be
him.
a future star, dude.
I
Like
like him. I like
the
him. I could see him
Blazers,
making an all-star team here or there.
the Blazers may
But
have a beautiful building piece, bro.
yeah, I think he'll be cool. Like I'm excited to see what Ant has. I'm there with him. But like everybody hyping Nasir Little up to be something. I got to
I
see it
like
first.
I like Nazir. I told you, dude. I like Nazir Little too. He can switch 1 to 5. All he has to do is shoot like 37% or better from
It's a
three,
big
dude.
ask. We
It
asked
is,
that for
but
Mo Harkless for a long time, and that could never come to fruition. We asked that for El Farouk
that's
Amino,
true.
And I get these are different people.
That's
I get
true.
that. I understand that. You know what I mean? But it's like to grab a guy who's nowhere near that 37% mark and then to just hope he can develop into that.
He's still
I don't know.
very young though. At least when you
He
guys got
is.
Mo Harkless and Al-Farouq Aminu, they were like pretty much established at that point.
They were established. Yeah, that was their second contract and all that stuff.
So he's got a lot. He could still develop a lot, dude. Keep your
it's
hopes up,
I mean, I
bro.
hope. I hope. But yeah,
Keep
man.
your
No,
hopes
thanks for
up.
having me on.
Hell yeah, man. At JRob 22, right? At JRob
At JR Sports Bars on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll be
22, right?
next
Or
up.
just at JR Sports Bars.
Just at JR Sports Bars.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I changed it from the Mr. All 20 JR All 22, just JR Sports Bars to
Oh, you
match
should
the
have kept
IG.
that.
No, but the bio is like, NFL All 22 truther. That is always me.
He is, dude.
The
He is.
All 22 truther. I'm posting this. I'm going to post this link. Not a link. I'm going to post a photo. I was talking about this on all the other pods I've featured on this to preview the Super Bowl. As I show you here, these are the notes that I've made just for the Super Bowl. From all 22 viewing, from number crunching and everything.
I'm gonna make this, dude.
I'm gonna make this post.
It.
I got a post coming with all the notes I have taken on all 22 on game day, which is the time I sit and take notes. It's gonna look kind of crazy. It's gonna look crazy. There's over 100 pages.
Dude,
I'm just gonna make this big sweeping photo of like, I study this shit. Here's a picture. And
I'll you do, bro. No joke. That's why I love talking with you, bro, because you actually know what the fuck you're talking about and you like research your shit and you can like you have a conviction behind what you talk about. And I respect that. It's not no bullshit behind what you talk about. It's literal analysis, everything. Because if being analytical is one thing, dude, but if you can be analytical and see it with your own eyes and correlate the two together, that's special shit, bro. Mm-hmm. And I respect that, dude. I respect that.
Here's a preview.
He's showing me his papers, dude. I love it, dude.
Like this, man. Look at this shit.
Yeah, dude, that's real, like, bro.
It's insane. Man. Like it's just.
You ain't got a cell phone.
Like
you could like type that in or nothing.
Something I could type it into.
Yeah, like a cell phone, like on your notes section.
I could, but that takes a long time because I do it by hand a lot. So like I make these like tables and shit to like diagram coverages. And shit. I mean, like it's out of hand. It's just,
dude, you're a fucking nerd, dog.
I'm a big ass nerd with this shit. So
I'm just joking. I love
it's like,
it,
okay, what you doing tonight, man? Oh yeah, like friends are gonna come over, fam's gonna come over, and the wife and I kick it, and then the friends, fam leave.
Breaking down film, y'all need to go chill.
And I go break down film, and then I write all this notes. Like I got like Giants versus Panthers notes. Like anyway,
bro, I
appreciate it very much, bro. I'll definitely tag in that, and always dope talking ball with you.
Hell yeah, man. Always appreciate you, Jordan. Make sure to go follow him. Go check out Cover Zero podcast. Awesome podcast. Obviously, you've seen his notes. He's very in depth with what he does, and that is very respectful, dude. I can respect that shit to the death. Appreciate you. We will catch y'all later. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Eat some food. Drink some beer. We out.